guys, this is Valentin from YVBEAT, and in today's video I want to teach you how to get that deep techno sound like Joyhauser, and I want to especially explain to you how to get that modern acid bass sound. If you want to support me and if you want to have access to the whole project with all the samples and the presets, you can just click on the link. I will highlight it in the comments and you can buy the whole project for a little sum. With that being said, just let's crack into it and let's see. So I like to start with the foundation of each techno track, in my opinion, which is drums and especially the kick and the bass. For this case here, I went for 130 BPM and I started with a kick sample that initially sounded like that. Sounds pretty good already, but I wanted to add a little bit more drive, a little bit more punch, so I just went for the drum bass. Didn't go too crazy on that, but it helps a lot to get that classic modern deep techno sound. And I boosted the right frequency, that is A sharp in this case. Additionally to that, I also used a parallel compression here for the kick, which is kind of unusual, but it helps you to make this huge kick. And again, I used the drum bass here and I went pretty crazy on that. I used the hard setting here and the compression, and I also boosted the transients a little bit, and also I used this boom function, which helps you to get additional sub frequencies into your bass drum, and with that I don't even need a sub bass. What I got rid of was a little bit of the highs, and in combination that sounds like this. Pretty right on so far. Then I went for pretty easy hi-hat sample, like an open hi-hat. Sounds like a usual 909. And I just cranked it again with the drum bass to make it stand out a little bit more. Also, I wanted to distort it a little bit, and I went for the saturator here. Also used it pretty intensely here, and a lot of reverb. But nothing more special going on. I cut a little bit of the highs to make it sound like very deep and very like analog. Then I added a hi-hat, right, which does pretty much the same thing. It just adds a little bit up on the highs. And makes the sustain much longer here. And then I also added 16th. And I just boosted that again with the saturator. And next thing I used was, of course, the bass sound. So for the bass, I used the operator, and I went for a saw wave and a square wave. And the only thing you really have to do is to cut the highs and boost the resonance to get this classic acid sound. So you can go really crazy with that. And I would do that when I make like build up, for example, or a small transition even, to make it a little bit more livid in your arrangement. But that's the basic sound. I added the drum bass to give it more transients and make it even more compressed, because Joyhauser, for example, make this very dense and tough, straightforward sound in their bass. And I tried to emulate that with only Ableton plugins, and it works decently with the drum bass in my opinion. Addition to that, I also used the saturator to make it again sound more analog. It gives it a whole grid basically. And in my opinion, 303s or acid bass lines in general, they live from echoes, and therefore I used the echo from Ableton. Just eighth here, nothing special, and a little bit of reverb. And now it starts to live, and that's pretty much the foundation of the track. Then I just added the plug sound here. I used the operator again for that, but there's nothing really special going on. I added the saturator to get it a little bit more in the mix. I used the auto pan to not have it so much in the center, so there is enough space for the bass drum and the bass line, so it flies around. I cut off a little bit of the highs, but you could basically just play around with that during your whole arrangement. And again, there's a lot of reverb and delay through Ableton's echo. And lastly, just to show you, I also added just a preset from Ableton for the lead sound, which sounds like this. It's just a basic trance sound, the Eurodance lead preset, and I just tweaked it a little bit. I got rid of some of the lows to leave more place for the bass sound, because they play together at the moment. Then I added the drum bass again to kick it a little bit more. And I also misused the saturator again for like giving it a lot of drive to make it sound like very gritty and very dirty. And I got rid of a lot of highs that were coming up from that. And this little friend, to make it sound like it's very analog again. And I added more delay with the echo again. And that's basically it. That's the whole thing here. And in combination, that sounds like that. Alright, that's it. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I think everybody is able to just rebuild this whole thing, and you don't need a 303. It's not necessary to get to that sound. I hope you really got something out of this, and I'll see you very soon with the next video.